Nath Sharma, and I bring with myself a lot of tradition, and the Sanskrit tradition, the tradition from my grandfather, my father, my great uncle, my father. But basically, I was trained by my father. He is the one who taught me Sanskrit, who taught me Vyakarana, who taught me Patanjali's Vyakarana Mahabhashya.
So I hate you, but how did he do it?
What?
How did he do it? I mean, how was that method different from?
No, I was living in the United States teaching Sanskrit there, and every summer I will come to the farmhouse. My father had retired by that time, and so I will be there for 3 months doing nothing but Vyakarana Mahabhashya. He will be writing the Ambakarti commentary on the Vakyapadiya, and I will be doing just the Bhashya. And the classes will start at 2 o'clock in the morning, because he didn't have any time during the day. And after 4 to 6, he had his own things to do, writing. So for me, it was 2 to 4. And he would say, are you here to sleep? You can get enough sleep over there. You come here, study. So I studied the Vyakarana Mahabhashya with him. And that's when it was eye-opener. And we will talk about Vakyapadiya. He would say, I have written this thing, so what do you think about it? I said, no, I don't think about Vakyapadiya. You think about Vakyapadiya and you explain to me what it is. So this was my education in the Vakyapadiya of Bhartrihari. And in the West, I wrote tons about grammar, Pāṇini's grammar, but everything has been, the bent has been that I am traditionalist. And Pāṇini is what Pāṇini is. See, there were questions raised. Like Kiparsky once wrote in his book Pāṇini as a variationist that why do we have to look at Pāṇini from Patanjali's eyes? So the thing is, when I went to the United States, Chomsky was the king in linguistics, and there were all kinds of questions, like I brought grammaticality versus acceptability. Who is the ideal listener, hearer of the language? And so that was the time when I had just about finished my PhD, and my interest was in syntax. So there was nothing but transformational generative grammar for me to go. So I was directed to the philosophy department to study symbolic logic, to the mathematics department to study set theory. And then I came to linguistics, and I studied the transformational generative grammar. Not only that, I also taught transformational generative grammar in sociolinguistics, because at that time sociolinguistics came on the horizon with the publication of the book Social Stratification of Language on the East Side, etc. So after that, I went to, and I started presenting my ideas such that something else cannot be imposed on Pāṇini. So I just went to the Mahabhashya, and it became, I would say it became an obsession not to prove that Pāṇini was very modern, because nothing can be proven as modern. So what is modern? Modern is something you raise questions which are being raised contemporaneously. So these days, what are the kind of questions being asked in linguistics or in grammar, about grammars, etc., and see the grammar, like Pāṇini's grammar, can answer some questions satisfactorily. Not that Pāṇini's grammar is bound to answer any such questions or even entertain such questions. So I'm very happy with my researches that Pāṇini is what Pāṇini is. He has his own theory of linguistics, presentation, etc., And it's a kind of a subset of universal grammar. It's not just the grammar of the Sanskrit language. So right now what I'm doing is I am developing, for example, this kind of a workshop where people like you can come and they can talk freely about this grammar, arrive at certain basic ideas about this grammar, maybe apply those things in their teachings, etc. And that's all. So right now, in 2-3 years, I would have developed the textbooks, text materials for this workshop. And it's going to be a 5-day workshop. The content of the workshop is going to be what I have already given you, and which we will, this is the reason why I want to follow that, okay? And then we will have all the texts and discussions so that we have a general idea about the direction this workshop is going to do and what kind of benefits we can derive from the practical applications of the findings of our understanding of this workshop. This is what we are doing. So shall we go back to those things? When I went to the United States, these were the questions. There was one question: who is the ideal listener hearer? So we talked about the question of grammaticality and acceptability. So let's bring that question to Pāṇini's grammar or to Sanskrit grammar. And we talked about the sentence, colorless green ideas sleep furiously. That's a perfectly grammatical sentence, acceptable, but semantically deviant.